Our next guest is the AD at North Alabama, Mark Linder. Mark, Scott Griffin, and Pat Smith, good morning, sir.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, we appreciate you hanging out with us. Tell us the thinking. Like I said, when I was doing some radio up there in Huntsville, I remember you guys talking about it and playing around with it, and I had frankly forgotten about it. What's happened in the last year or two to cement this move for you?
Well, in 2011-12, you're right. The board decided to make the transition to Division One, and at that point in time, the NCAA requirements required that you had to have a conference invitation. And so, over the course of the last 3 or 4 years, we've been looking for the right conference that fits us geographically and also takes care of our football program. And before this September, the ASUN really wasn't an option because they didn't have a football component, but they made an agreement with the Big South in September, and so it opened up the dialogue for us to have this opportunity today. So we're tremendously excited about to make it the transition. We know it's going to be a challenge, but we are excited about it.
Talk to us about, I guess some folks would say, well, now that you're moving classifications, that it's going to cost you guys a lot more money for travel and et cetera on your athletic teams. Can you address that?
Yes, we worked diligently the last probably 3 or 4 years on our pro forma, and you're right, it will cost more money. However, there's other revenue streams that are available to Division One institutions that just aren't for Division Two, and so we look to use those external resources to offset the cost. And our university has always been very supportive of our athletic department at the Division Two ranks, and we don't see that changing either. So it's going to be a community effort, and we'll have to get out and do some fundraising, hopefully with the added excitement as far as playing some Division One institutions in our local community. Ticket sales will go up, and so we believe we have a very conservative pro forma that will allow us to be very successful at the Division One ranks.
I lived up there a few years, as you know, so I'm familiar with the area, and it is a nice following up there, and I think it's cool because if you drew up a 100-mile radius, there's not a lot of Division I schools and football and other sports entertainment there for you. How much studies did you do besides just the passion in the Florence and Muscle Shoals area for your school?
I think that's a great point. If you look from the Birmingham market up to Nashville and then from Memphis over to Chattanooga, kind of that diamond-shaped region, I believe you'll only find Alabama A&M is in that footprint, and then that was the only Division One. Obviously, you have those institutions that are in those metropolitan areas, but so we see there being a great draw, and if we do this thing the right way, I believe our impact and our footprint will expand. Last year we won the NCAA Division II National Championship in softball, and while it was a great feat for our student athletes here, in your local market in Birmingham, I'm not so sure that anybody knew about that. And so
right.
We believe this transition to Division One will get us into larger markets, which will have a potential to tell our story. We're the best kept secret in North Alabama, and we used to think that was a compliment, but we're trying to change that. We're trying to let everybody know that the University of North Alabama is a wonderful place to send student athletes and students. And so you have listeners right now that have high school age students and looking for a place to send them that will care about them and educate them. We want people to know about the University of North Alabama.
We're talking to the athletic director at North Alabama, Mark Linder, here on Smash Mouth Radio 99.1 FM, The Game. Will the move to Division I necessitate new athletic facilities for you guys, especially in football?
They're not required at the FCS level, which is the one that we will enter. There's no mandatory attendance requirement. However, whether we stay Division II or go Division I, there are some facilities improvements that we desire, and so we will start working on our basketball arena first. We know there's some needs there that need to be met. The ASUN has a tremendous package with the ESPN3 platform, and so we'll have to do some upgrades to make sure that we show our guests a great venue, and so we'll start working on that immediately.
And you talked about the other sports too, and the revenue streams. Give us an idea. Is it conference revenue streams or all kinds of ways? I don't think people understand. They automatically look at cost moving up, but the fact that you can make more money,
Right. Our sister institution, Jacksonville State, last year went out and played LSU in the sport of football, and brought home a check of $625,000. We don't have that option at the Division II ranks. Also, when you start looking at the NCAA distribution of money and grant money from conferences, last year the University of North Alabama, as a Division II, we received a check for about $10,000 from the NCAA. When you start looking at Division I FCS members, that check ranges anywhere between $800,000 to $1 million, and so those revenue streams alone can put a big dent into the added cost for scholarships.
Mark, UNA has a long history of winning championships, especially in football, but how long do you think it will take to become a competitive Division I program, not only in football but across the board?
Yeah, I think we'll have to look, and we've already looked at how do we define success, and I think success, as you go into the Division I ranks, we have to talk about winning conference championships and taking advantage of the automatic qualifier into the national tournaments. And I believe the Shoals area up here would absolutely go crazy if, in say 6 or 10 years, we get our basketball program where we win maybe the ASUN championship, and we go into the first round of March Madness and have the opportunity to play a traditional powerhouse. I think it would be such a exciting time in this community, and so I think we'll have to kind of redefine what success looks like. But you're starting to see the FCS level institutions starting to compete at a higher and higher level, and I think that's because we're starting to see society change a little bit, where quality student athletes necessarily don't want to go to an institution in red shirt and sit a couple of years. They want to go to a Division I institution and play right away. And so, and the exposure that the ESPN3, that platform, has had on allowing everybody to have access to multimedia has been phenomenal. So I think the stage is changing a little bit, where the FCS institutions can cycle up every once in a while and compete on the big time stage. And so we're excited about that opportunity.
It should be fantastic. Mark Linder, the athletic director of North Alabama, going to Division I again, football, Big South, and the other sports, Atlantic Sun. Mark, very exciting. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us this morning. We appreciate it.